Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Life and Drawing. This is episode 21, the legal drinking age. And hence, since it's episode 21, today's topic is why drink? Um, Honestly, I didn't even tie those two things together until I started, and I was like, "Oh, hey, that's cool to make that little connection." So yeah, why drink? So, full disclosure, I do drink, just not often. I go through um, stages where there's some days where I'm like, oh, I need a drink, and for those who are and this is for folks who are of legal drinking age. Um, and so, I mean, not that if you are not of legal drinking age, you can't listen in. Uh, it's just not an encouraging video to engage in drinking if you're not of age. So, just want to make sure that disclaimer is out there. So, uh, yeah, so why drink? And so I was talking about I in a given year, uh I'll probably have about maybe 5 to 10 drinks, and that's including like a glass of wine, um, like a mixed drink, and honestly, that's when I intake alcohol more. When if I buy a bottle of Bacardi and I make my own smoothies, and so if I'm like, hey, you know what, I just want to spice it up a little bit, pour a little Bacardi in it, and now it's an alcoholic smoothie, and so um, that's really uh, the more frequent way of me drinking. But as far as like drinking a beer, uh, I'm not. I mean, I don't really. I'm probably gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I, I just don't like the taste of beer. And and folks who do, I mean, they just make it look so delicious. And, and every now and then I'm like tempted, and I'm like, maybe it'll be different this time. And it never is for me. Um, so yeah, so I'm not a beer drinker. I like hard cider, like Angry Orchard, I should say. Um, Mike's Hard Lemonade, sometimes, uh, but stuff like that. But then it's mostly wine. If it's something that's gonna be, if it's something I'm gonna drink straight up, would be wine. Uh, um, because even like hard liquor, I don't really drink straight up, and so I usually blend those or mix them with some type of like fruit juice or something like that. So, but going back to the topic at hand, why drink? And sometimes we drink to be cool, and being cool. Sometimes we drink so that um, we can fit in and be cool. And and for those who are planning on drinking and you're a year away or 2 years away, I mean, you're really not missing anything. It's not gonna be some life uh, changing experience. Well, unless when you do, you drink too much and then you get wasted. And yeah, you can potentially have a life changing experience, uh, all depending on what company you're in during that time, uh, and what you're doing um, at that time that you're drinking, And so I think if it's going to be the first time, I think it should be with people that you trust, people who are mature, um, and uh, I would say never really try to go and do it to be cool or fit in, because then that's when pressures and come into play, and and excess can be easily achieved, because you're pressure like, oh, I'm gonna drink. They're drinking 3 beers, so I'm gonna drink. It's like, man, you've never drunk before, and so maybe half a beer, But so you wanna, if it's gonna be your first time drinking, you wanna make sure that you're in just good company, and uh, and folks that, like I said, folks that you can trust and that as well, people who will undoubtedly have your best interests at heart, and so that way it can be a very positive experience for you, and then also, you know, you won't be taken advantage of, whether you're a male or a female, but especially if you're a female, if you're a female, you definitely want to be in the right company. You don't want anyone to take advantage of you if you go overboard and you become intoxicated. Um, so yeah, I mean, and I am a believer, and so, and I still drink, and there are other believers who don't, and some, it's their background, where they came from. They may have had a history in their family of folks who drank, and it could have not been a positive experience for them, and so they most certainly don't condone drinking, and so uh, but I do, and it's all about just uh, control, portion control. But I'm probably jumping ahead. So, but so first point, why drink? Are we drinking to be cool? Are we drinking to fit in? And if it's going to be your first time, make sure it's around people that you know and you trust. I think that's incredibly important. I think the first time I had a sip of wine, I think I was 14. And I always had like a very older looking face. And so, and I was, I was with uh, a friend of my sibling's friend, and my sibling was there, and so, and it was fine. I was like a controlled environment, and I literally only had like a half glass, and that was enough. I'm still a lightweight, um, uh, and so, but so that was an enjoyable experience, because it does make you feel like, oh, I'm older, and you know, um, and so it's probably same thing with you know getting a smoke in, and it's like, oh, I can smoke now, I'm cool, I'm older, all this stuff, and so you just, like I said, you just want to make sure you're you're um, you're doing it under the right circumstances. And so uh, so second point, what are some of the potential pitfalls in drinking, right? So if you do decide like, hey man, I'm gonna drink and I can't wait to drink, you know, it's gonna be so what's the word I'm looking for? Liberating, and parents won't be able to say what I can do and what not, and all this, jibber jab, jibber jibby, and so jibber jab, jibber jibby. What am I talking about? Um, but yeah, but what are some of the potential pitfalls? Certainly addiction, a deterioration of our health, depending on how much drinking you're gonna do, um, the type of alcohol you will be drinking. Um, yeah, I mean, and then you know you become an alcoholic, and then that you hear the terms functioning alcoholics, um, but is that something that you you want to do and you were you know aspiring to do, or you had plans to um, actually uh, you know do something with your life, and but now you're so caught up um, with drinking that it has become your life, or it has taken over your life. And so that's just something you have to keep in mind, um, so as to know how far am I gonna go with this drinking, and is it for me, and am I okay if I choose not to drink, even if it's not for my religious beliefs or anything like that. It's just like, it's just not for me. I don't want to drink. And honestly, like for me, like I mean, I can go an entire year without drinking, even if I have like stressful situation. I'm like, oh, you know what, a drink will be good, just to mellow me out. Um, I still often times not even further engage the thought, and I'm like, yeah, it would be cool, but it's gonna require me to go out and buy something, and I'm like, nah, it's okay. I'll be fine. Um, I'll chew on a CBD gummy. I actually have those, and that'll be another podcast. CBD holistic supplements and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so we want to be careful to not fall into a pitfall of drinking too much, and making sure it's not connected to just being cool and wanting to fit in. And so um, I wanted to do like a Western landscape, somewhat influenced because I've been playing Red Dead Redemption, and so I think that's kind of influenced my mind of, hey, I should do this landscape type thing, and so yeah, so here it is. But thirdly, to avoid those potential pitfalls, let's just drink in moderation, right? And what's moderation? For me, it's drinking where after you're done, you're still able to operate a vehicle. You're not tipsy, because if you are tipsy, you've drunk. It's so hard doing the past participle of drink. You have drunk too much, or you drink, you have, you know what I'm trying to say. If you're tipsy, you had too much to drink, and so and some folk maybe, I'm functional, I can drive even if I'm tipsy and stuff like that. I think that's too much. Get tipsy, you just shouldn't be drinking. I mean, shouldn't be driving, operating any type of vehicle. Um, that's that's way too risky, and it's not worth it. People's lives are on the line, and um, you can't come back from that. There's no oops and sorries when somebody's loved one is killed or gravely maimed because you thought you still was able to drive. Makes no sense. And so, don't do it. Um, yeah, but just moderation. I mean, it should be a point where you're like, oh yeah, I had a drink, but I'm fine. I'm well. I'm lucid. Um, I, I know where I am. Um, uh, I'm completely aware of my surroundings. Um, I know I'm not inebriated in any way, form, or passion or fashion. If I had to do a drug test, uh, not a drug test, but the what do they call it? Sobriety test. I'll pass it, filing colors. Although some of those sobriety um, tests, I feel like even if you're sober, they can trip you up. I remember hearing one where it was, say, the alphabet backwards from F or from J, and I'm just like, man, just I gotta think about that. J, I gotta go A B C D E F G H I J. So I gotta go J A B C D E F G H I J A J I H. See, even now but that's part of the test, and I'm like, man, that's really difficult just to do that sober minded. Let alone you're wasted, and so, but but yeah, you just want to make sure that nonetheless you are able to uh, you know be able to pass a test um, and and not be in and out. So moderation, and that way you can enjoy the event that you're at. You can enjoy the beverage that you're drinking, and you have all of your faculty. And like I said from the beginning, if you're a female, there's no risk of someone taking advantage of you. Heck, even if you're a male, there's no risk of someone taking advantage of you. And um, so yeah, man, why drink? If you have to, drink in moderation. Try not to be forced into, uh, like a prayer pressure type thing, because that just never goes well. And so, um, and and like I said, just trust who you will be drinking with. Make sure you know who those folks are, and I think that's key, man. You want to know who you're gonna be with. You want to be able to trust um, uh, that environment and those people, because you don't. It's one thing having a funny Sharpie drawing on your forehead, but then it's a whole nother thing if you're taken advantage of and folks are messing with your body, and you're completely unawares, and so you don't want to have that um, happen to you, and so that's why it's key to know your limits, know how much you can indulge and take in, and know who you will be around and the environment you'll be in, and hey, and if you are going to drink, make sure if you go out places that um, um, you definitely have to designate. I mean, this is not something that you guys haven't heard, but you have a designated driver, um, and if there isn't one, then unfortunately, I guess you have to become that designated driver for your own sake, and certainly for the sake of your friends, uh, or family members. So um, so yeah. And for those who are like, man, I'm not gonna drink, that's totally fine. It's fine to just stick to your convictions. You don't need to feel pressured in any way to drink, and you shouldn't. Um, and I think if your friends who you're with, they respect you. I should say if they respect you, if they're really your true friends, then I don't think you're gonna have something to worry about fitting in or being ostracized. Being made fun of, like, you don't drink, you're a loser. Da, 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 da. What are you so whatever? Are you JV or I don't know. I don't know the I don't know the lame attacks. Because growing up, I just never had to worry or deal with that crap, and so sometimes I wish though I was like, man, why didn't someone try to test me? I was a little hothead. I wanted to get into a scruffle every now and then, and so. But I think the law is like, yes, I know you want to get into a scruffle, and I'm not going to allow you to. Wow, this is really busy. A lot of white spaces, empty spaces. Like I didn't really do a good job isolating my shadows. I mean, I like the general composition. I mean, I don't usually talk about what I'm drawing, but yeah, there's just so much that I haven't kind of blocked out, and so, and I don't. Will this help? Well, that was kind of delayed. I never had that before. I don't think that helps. I don't think that helps. So this was a poor attempt of a wilderness thing, chingamajim. I'll do a better job next time. But like I said, from time to time and time again, it's not about the drawing; it's about the topic. And so, thank you guys for listening in to this topic, Why Drink, episode 21. Be sure to hit that like button. Hit it with a drink coaster. Be sure to check out my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Michelob Comics, and to support the show and what I do, you can go to patreon.com/Michelo Lully. So thanks again for tuning in. Be safe and responsible when you do drink, if you are of drinking age, and if you're not, you're really not missing out. And if you really feel that I want to have that sensation, just get a cider, get an apple cider or cranberry cider. You know, it has the fizz and all that, and it's non-alcoholic. So so you can pretend and sip, and then when you're of age, just do it moderately. And if it's not for you, then that's totally fine. You're gonna have an edge health-wise. Your liver will thank you for it. So guys, be cool, be chill. Thanks for tuning in. Have a truly blessed day, night, morning, or evening.